Hello there. I am Steve Taylor. I am the host of MSP Webinars, and today I think we're going to have a fun one. I am joined by Matt Rodella. Matt actually runs two companies that I know of anyway. He runs Tech Site Builder and a newer company that I just learned about, Tech Blog Builder. So welcome, Matt. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, happy to be here.
Awesome. So Matt and I were talking, before we went live, and I learned that Matt is a musician, and me being someone that plays music and I'm really passionate about music, I get excited when I hear that other people are musicians, and the excitement kind of faded a little bit for me. Matt, what's your primary instrument?
My primary instrument is the awesome instrument called the trumpet.
See what I mean, guys? The trumpet.
Hey, at least I play a real instrument, right?
I play. So my primary instrument is the bass guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why. I mean, nobody cares about the trumpet player, right? I mean, they.
That's it. That's it. We hang out in the background. We show up at the gigs. We play a couple notes. We get paid the same. and
that's true. That's true. But I think it's fair to say. So I'm an active volunteer member, whatever you want to call it, at my church. And at church, my primary role is technology, making sure everything's running smoothly, and then I also run the lighting. And I get kind of really upset when I think to myself, oh man, my job here is the lighting. Like, nobody goes home singing the light show.
Right. Right. You've done your job when nobody talks about it. That's
true. And my favorite part of that role is I get to fill the room with the Holy Spirit. We have a fog machine at church, and all right, enough about that.
Nice.
So Matt, we're here to talk about effective content marketing, and we're going to focus on IT channel consultants, right? And I don't know why I said channel. I mean, forget the channel part. We're focusing on IT consultants. My focus, obviously, is managed service providers, but I'm sure you also work with a lot of shops, right? I mean, they probably do some managed services, but they're probably also doing break, fix, repair type of work. So I'm sure you've got that in your wheelhouse as well. Yeah. For those of you that are watching this on Zoom live here as a participant, feel free to pop questions into the Q&A section. And if you're watching this streamed through YouTube or Facebook, do me a favor and try using the chat function there. Theoretically, I'm supposed to get notifications about that. So let's see how that goes. And if you guys have questions and you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, pop it in the chat and I'll make sure those questions get asked. So I'm going to start with a tough question, Matt. So when I look at TechSiteBuilder.com, that is your website for your website builder product.
Right.
Isn't your website builder product built on WordPress?
It is. Yep. We use WordPress multi-site to run and manage the network of websites on Tech Site Builder.
Okay. And who's building the website?
So you have that option. When you sign up for our basic service, which is only $19 a month, you get the kind of a pre-filled out template of a website on what is a very customized version of WordPress. We throw a lot of extra features in there. We remove a lot of features that aren't necessary. So you get, a basic template, and then you can go in and, swap in your logo, change the colors, fill out some content. We set it up with different services pages, so it's easy to add your services. But we have, an upsell that you can purchase where we will set up everything for you. So if you don't have time, or if you just aren't inclined to build out your own website, then we can take care of all that for you.
Okay, so and I don't see that on your website. It's not in the pricing. It's not even in the features when I just kind of quickly glance. So is that a flat fee or?
Yep, it is.
This isn't going to be the Let's Sell Matt Services show. I'm just trying to give you some context of what Matt does. Okay.
Yeah, it's you're right. It's not. We don't talk about those what we call concierge services upfront because really the core product is the website builder, the do-it-yourself. It's a DIY type of thing. So we offer those concierge services. Once you sign up, they're there in the dashboard to say, hey, if you need help with this, we do some like SEO setup as well if you want help with that. And they are flat one-time fees. Yep.
Okay. And let's see here. Then you have Tech Blog Builder. And that one seems a little easier to comprehend because you're writing blogs. Now is this you're writing one blog and all the MSPs are putting it on their page like a syndicated blog, or are you giving us a custom blog for our site?
It is a custom blog, and that's kind of the big differentiator, because I know there are a few services that are out there that do the syndicated blogs where they'll have the same blog post that they send out to all of their customers. Tech Blog Builder is different, where we think it's important for SEO and for engaging with your customers to have a unique blog post that's written, for your company, targeted to your customers. So if you're a Tech Blog Builder customer, we'll ask you, hey, what do you want us to write about this month? And you can say, oh, I have this new service I'm offering, or maybe Windows 7 end of life is coming up. You want us to talk about that. Or if you don't have any idea, you can say, hey, you guys come up with a topic, and then we'll come up with a topic based on, your services you offer or whatever. So we really get to know our customers. It's a little bit more of a hands-on type of service.
Okay. So, all right. So obviously you're very embedded into the, I'll call it passive marketing, where, it's people have to come to the website. Obviously you're helping us build the website, whether it's us doing it or you doing it, you're giving us the builder to do that. Excuse me. And, you're also helping us with custom blog content for the website, which again, in my opinion, is passive content. Now it can be used actively, and that would be with us doing like social media campaigns and that type of stuff, or even adding it to newsletters. But the content itself is typically passive content.
Right.
So how do you help MSPs today with active marketing?
So our goal, or our kind of wheelhouse, is what you call passive marketing, what I call pull marketing. There's push marketing, where you're pushing your stuff out there, and there's pull marketing, where you're drawing people into your services in your world. And I've built all of my businesses on pull marketing, where you establish yourself as an authority by writing awesome content and targeting that content to your ideal customer, and then putting that content out there. And that's less passive, right? You put it out on social media, you send it out in your newsletter. And it's kind of a circular process, where the blog posts, you put them out there, they pull people into your website, and then your website is what collects the leads and collects the customers and converts those customers. So it's, I think I like that kind of marketing because it lasts forever. Okay. And I think it's something that MSPs are neglecting. I see a lot of MSPs going straight to the Facebook marketing, straight to the, putting ads out there, or going to networking events and push, just talking about themselves nonstop. And, that's great, but that only lasts as long as it happens, right? The ad only lasts as long as it's in front of the person. Going out to a networking event only lasts as long as you're at the networking event. Whereas if you write a blog post, that's on the internet for as long as the internet exists, right? So it can continue to work for you. You can continue to use it. People will continue to find it. It adds to your SEO. It adds to your authority building. And so that's what we like to focus on. There's lots of other services out there that can help you with that active marketing. But we know what we like, and we know what we know, and that is the pull marketing.
Excellent. So I have a question here. Somebody asked, do you also post the blog, or are you just writing the content and sending it to us?
So our goal with the services we create is to make it as easy and as a no-brainer as possible for our customers. So what we do is if you have a tech site builder website or any other WordPress website, and we've also added Squarespace to that because we got to know Squarespace a little bit. If you have a website on any of those platforms, because we know them, we'll go ahead and post the blog posts we write for you to your website, format them, schedule them out so they come out, on a consistent basis. That way it's really just totally hands off for you. You don't even have to think about it, and you got blog posts coming out on a regular, consistent basis. Okay.
And I'm sure he's going to have a follow-up question. How do you do it? Are we just creating a user that's like an author or editor and sending you that over?
Yep.
So that way you have access to do that?
Yep. When you sign up for the service, we send you an email asking you to, set up an editor account for us, and we tell you how to do that. We also have a couple higher tiers of service where we will also post the posts out for you on social media. And in order to do that, we do need to connect to your social media accounts one time. We use Loomly, which is a really cool social media management service. I used to use Buffer, but what I didn't like about Buffer is the post preview you see in Buffer doesn't look like the post actually looks when it publishes on social media. Whereas with Loomly, it actually formats it exactly what it'll look like, so you can kind of see, sometimes if you attach an image, it doesn't attach right, or if you put a link, it pulls in some weird featured image that you didn't expect it to. So that's the cool thing about Loomly, is it lets you see what it's going to look like, so you could kind of catch those mistakes before it publishes live to your social account.
I like it. So thanks for so let's talk about marketing campaigns for a second here. Because I want to try and walk people through what is the process supposed to look like when an MSP says, I'm going to start marketing my business. What is that actually supposed to look like? Because I know what most MSPs are going to do. We're going to go out, we're going to sign up for Buffer or gosh, I can't even think of the name of that most Hootsuite. Isn't that one of the most popular ones out there, right?
Yep.
So they're going to go sign up for one of these tools, and they're going to start randomly posting things. And depending on which one they use, they're going to maybe use the suggested posts, like, oh, look, it's Throwback Thursday. Let's do a throwback on whatever this thing suggests. Oh, look, it's National Cheeseburger Day. Nobody cares what the IT company thinks about cheeseburgers and donuts, and you know what I mean? So, but I think it would be neat to say, hey guys, it's Throwback Thursday. Here's a picture of the first personal computer that was invented 40 years ago or whatever. You know what I mean? That is at least relevant.
Right. So I mean,
but still I'm sorry, but still they're just going out and they're just kind of guessing. It's like they're taking a whole bunch of noodles out of the pan and they're throwing all of them against the wall to see which ones stick. Right. And that's how you can test to see if the noodles are ready, if you guys didn't know, okay? And and that's not good. That's not a good way to do marketing, because at this point you're just guessing.
Right.
And it's not a true campaign either.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit there is some guesswork, especially at first, because, like you said, I want to market my business is kind of like saying I want to, be healthy. Okay, what does that mean? That, we could exercise, we could eat right, we can, meditate in the morning, we can go for walks. There's so many things you can do to be healthy. Where do you start? And so that's kind of how it is for marketing. There's lots of different things you can do for marketing. And some of them work, some of them don't. Some of them might work for one business, they don't work for another business. So there is some experimentation that's involved. Mm-hmm. But before you do any of that, I think the number one goal is to, there's two goals that you should have. Number one is to is to have a goal. And that is, okay, do I want to have more signups for my email list? Do I want to have more Facebook followers? Do I want to have more customers? Do I want to get my existing customers to purchase more services? So find one goal, one simple goal that you want to accomplish. And then number two, figure out who it is that you want to target. And I'm a big proponent of finding a niche and finding a niche customer and thinking of an ideal kind of customer that you want to work with. Like, for example, a lawyer or a doctor's office, a lawyer in your local town or a lawyer in the next town over, if maybe they charge more and they have more money in the town over or something like that. And that way you can really hone your marketing message. So you have something to say, you have topics to talk about. So say, okay, I want to target lawyers in the next town over. It's a little bit of a bigger town. So let me, start writing content in my blog about some of the more common technical issues that law firms will face. And then I'll also maybe mention the next town over a couple times in the blog post, just to have that kind of SEO boost in there. And then you have that blog post, then you can start pushing that blog post out to where those lawyers are online, whether, maybe LinkedIn is where, the lawyers hang out most often, or it could be, there might be Facebook groups, where lawyers hang out and talk about lawyer stuff. I don't really know, but so you find out where they're hanging out and then you push your message to those places and you let them discover you. I'm not a huge fan of like the cold calling and the cold emailing, although it can work. It's labor intensive and it could backfire because then you could be seen as a spammer, or then people can just, not want to talk to you. I like to put myself out there, let people discover me. And then once they discover me, whether it's liking a post or commenting on a post, that's when then I start a dialogue. And that's when I say, hey, great idea. And I continue to have, and then I might, message them after they interact with me a few times. So and then from there, you can start to think of other things like, oh, I'm interacting with these lawyers now on social media. They're asking certain questions or they're liking certain types of posts. Then I can start taking those posts and maybe creating, ads on LinkedIn or ads on Facebook around them, or creating a lead magnet on my website so that when they land on my website, I have something that they can download that answers the specific questions they've been asking. And then you just kind of let it snowball from there. But I think the first two things you want to decide is who you're targeting and where you want to target them.
Excellent. So let's run through what you would recommend an IT company that does not have a marketing strategy should be trying to do. And somebody here said he got kicked out of Reddit doing just that, just so you know. So
who did? Oh, that guy, the guy who I'm like, I didn't get
the guy. The guy. So let's talk about the IT company that maybe does not have any marketing strategy right now. Step one, I would say choose a goal. And you probably are going to choose a big goal, like I want 20,000 more in monthly recurring revenue, MRR, right? Okay, that's a fantastic goal. Now let's break that down into chunks, because I mean, it's not like one blog post isn't going to magically make that happen. And I think that's the thing some MSPs don't realize is, it's going to take work, but if you put in the work, it's really going to pay off as long as you're consistent and you're putting out quality stuff that people care about. So let's choose something that's a little more attainable. Like, I think a fantastic first step is I want somebody to read my blog post. That's it. I just want somebody to read the blog post. Yep. So we're going to write the blog post, right? Step one, write a blog post. Mm-hmm. Step two, publish the blog post.
And that's actually a big step, by the way. There's a lot that goes into writing a good, effective, engaging blog post. And that's kind of why we created the service, is because
absolutely,
folks were we saw MSPs out there trying to write their own blog posts, and it was like three big chunky paragraphs, no images, no links, no anything. And so maybe we could spend a little bit of time talking about what makes an effective blog post.
And I actually was glad you said that, because I wanted to ask you, because I'm sure it's not like there's secret sauce, right? I mean, you can tell us exactly what steps you run through when it comes to writing a tech blog builder blog post for somebody. But at the end of the day, if somebody's too busy or not a good writer, they're going to need to hire you anyway, right?
Right.
So let's talk about what steps are you going through when I engage with you. Step one.
Step one is we come up with a topic, right? And we ask you, are there services that you're wanting to push? Is there a target market that you're trying to seek? What kind of topic do you want to write about? So finding the topic, and some good topics include things like how-tos. So if there's, and nothing too technical, maybe, how to connect, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but how to connect Google Apps to your CRM system, for example, or how to use Microsoft Teams to make it easy for your customers or your employees to collaborate with each other. Stuff like that, where it's things that your target audience would want to know, and you're giving them kind of the super simple step-by-step. Because that, number one, that's super good for SEO. When you answer a question, it's naturally a question that people might be asking. And most of the time people when they go to Google and search for something, they're asking a question. How do I use Microsoft Teams? How do I connect, this with that? So you're answering that question. Yep.
So that's good. And here's what I want to do. I'm actually going to pick a topic, and now we're going to use that for step two. Okay. So the topic, you said, are there services we want to push or a target market we want to seek? Let's say we want to target law firms in my region, which is a United States, we'll just call it a metropolitan area.
Okay. And great. So then the next step would be to ask you, what is the most common issue that target audience that you've seen them facing, or that they come across, that you've experienced with them?
I would say, personally, the most common issue that they face, and guys, feel free to pop something in the chat if you think there's a better issue, right? So the most common issue that they're facing when I run into law firms is simply not understanding how technology really works for their business. So let's look at two law firms that I've worked with in the past couple of years. Law firm number one, the managing partner was like 74 years old. His staff was required to print out every single email and put them on his desk because he didn't understand computers. So I think that would be a fantastic target, because there are issues when it comes to making a paper trail for people to look through your garbage and start getting information about your clients, right? So that would easily feed into security and compliance for law firms.
Right. So then, a blog post topic that we could write about is how, maybe kind of a comprehensive roundup of how a law firm can leverage technology to make their office run more efficiently and securely. Something like that, right? Where we're solving the pain point of, we need to keep things secure, but we're using paper for everything, and it's so slow, and it's just, it takes us forever. So, but we're scared of technology. So how can we leverage technology to make our office more efficient and secure? So that could be an example of, going after a pain point, but we also start it with how to. So it's kind of answering a question like, how do I use technology? This is how. So then that takes us into the headline, right? We always want to think about a headline. And my personal style is I think of the headline first, and then the blog post comes after. Some people, it doesn't really matter. You can write the post and then do the headline, but really the headline is the topic, and that's what our headline is going to be.
And one thing that I've learned, for those of you that are doing your own web design, I found a fantastic WordPress plugin called Rank Math. Matt, have you played with that one?
That's an SEO plugin, right?
It is. So yeah. I switched to this instead of Yoast because holy cow, is this amazing for helping me understand the types of things I need to be doing. So for like the title, it suggests having a power word in your title. And it suggests having a number in your title. So it might be something like top 6 effective ways for managing technology in a law firm, something like that, right?
Right.
That way you're setting those expectations just with the title alone.
Right. Yep. And you know, our content writer on staff, this is all she does is write marketing blog posts, and so she's a ninja at coming up with really good, engaging blog post titles. She includes, you know, all that kind of stuff. Also, she'll put, you know, punctuation and parentheses and, you know, things that really kind of grab people's attention that you don't normally see in the average blog post title, and it can be really effective.
I recommend emoji.
Oh man, people are getting crazy with the emojis, aren't they?
They really do, don't they? So, all right, we've chosen our target market, law firms. We've come up with the issue where maybe they're just afraid to use technology. They don't even know how to use technology to effectively manage their firm. What's next? And
so I would suggest then you do kind of a stream of consciousness draft of the blog post, and you write. I kind of like to structure the blog posts where, you know, at the beginning you talk about what the reader can expect to get out of the blog post they're going to read, so that they don't need to get through a bunch of paragraphs to find out that it really doesn't apply to them. They're going to get pissed off. They're going to leave your site and they're never going to come back again. So you want to make sure that first paragraph almost works as a filter, saying this blog post is going to, you know, go step by step, and at the end you'll have a comprehensive, or you'll be able to form a comprehensive plan of how technology can help your law firm. Just a nice intro to set expectations. And then I like to break blog posts down into just, you know, bullet points almost, and then expand on each bullet point as a paragraph. Or if you're doing a list post, each bullet point can be, you know, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3. The writer we have on staff also always throws in some sort of statistics or outside resource that backs up the point that they're making. So, you know, maybe there's an article about a law firm that got breached recently, had a security issue, or, you know, maybe there's statistics about how law firms, you know, when they leverage technology, their efficiency goes up, you know, so many percentage points. So we always like to back up what we're saying like, hey, don't take our word. There's also all this stuff that's out there that's backing up what we're saying. And then you have the meat of your post, and then at the end you conclude it with you know, a nice, put a little bow on it saying, you know, hopefully this was helpful, and always have a call to action at the end of the blog post where you say, you know, hey, if this is too much to wrap your head around, we'd be happy to help you. Just give us a call, visit our contact page, sign up for our email list, whatever, just one action that you ask them to take at the end of the post, whichever goal you have for your marketing, whether it's to grow your email list or get more calls or whatever, have that be the call to action at the end of your blog post.
I like it. Okay, so now we've created our blog post. Now we're done, right? Everything just magically happens now.
Right. No, that's the beginning of the journey. The next step. So as you're writing the blog post, you're also injecting it with search engine optimization things. You know, making sure you have the keywords that you want to target in there. Make sure that you are using headings, that you're linking to other pages on your website. This is something a lot of people forget. Is interlinking is a big SEO help. So link out to your service pages here and there, link out to some other blog posts that you've written in the past. That's going to help SEO so that eventually this blog post will start to show up for lawyers who search for technology questions. And that will be a side benefit, right? But that's kind of out of your control, more or less. SEO is a crazy thing. And
hey, if you don't write something that people are searching for, it's never going to get found, right?
Right. So that, it depends, right? Some people, unless you're really going down the SEO rabbit hole, you won't know for sure if there are people searching for that. But you just want to make sure you have all the SEO boxes checked so that in case it is, and who knows, I've seen this happen where all of a sudden something you write about becomes a topic because it shows up in the news or something. And then all of a sudden you're the only person who wrote a blog post about it. This happened to Lisa Hendrickson, where she wrote a blog post about some Outlook error that was kind of rare until all of a sudden, I think it was a release, like the next release of Outlook, all of a sudden that error started cropping up all the time. And she got flooded with traffic to that one blog post. So you never know, right? It's just, and you just want to make sure that it will show up in SEO or search engines. So that's one thing. But then of course, the other thing is to put it out on social media, of course. So you should have the social media accounts. And when you post it on social media, you always want to not just post it and let it go. You want to have a little intro at the top, a little description saying, we've almost like the intro paragraph to your blog post, but people can't see that when in the social snippet. So you want to make sure your description in the social post is kind of saying, we've seen a lot of law firms struggle with technology. We've got some tips that'll help you, make your office more efficient or something like that. So you're really giving them the too long didn't read description in there. And then you are, sharing it to your social networks. I wouldn't post it in groups yet, unless you have a good rapport in those groups and the group admin, because again, you'll be seen as a spammer or something like that. And then also publish the blog post to your newsletter. Even if you don't have anybody signing up or not a lot of people signing up for your newsletter, you just want to get in the habit of publishing a regular newsletter. And what better content to put in the newsletter than your blog posts? So throw it in the newsletter, and then have it one of the best.
Quick.
Yep.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Real quick. One of the things that I've always tried to remember to do, and I struggle with, but I just want to make sure this is the right way. You make your post on your company's social media page, and then if you're trying to share it personally, you share the company post on your personal page, right?
I don't know the right answer. I think it's just personal preference. I personally do kind of both. I'll share it on the company page, but I feel like if I share the post personally, it gets more engagement than if I share the company post. And sometimes the formatting is off, like you don't get the description that comes over. So I don't really have an opinion on that. I think either way is fine.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely but you're right. Definitely don't only share it on your page. You also want to share it through your personal profile. And I'm a big fan of, and I know this is controversial or people might disagree, but I'm a big fan of becoming a friend with your potential customers, with your customers. There are, it's a little known feature in Facebook where you can create friend groups.
Boom. So I was just going to bring it up.
You can restrict certain groups of friends so that they don't see your personal, friends only posts. They only see posts that you want them to see. So create a friends group, add all of your customers or your potential customers in there, and then share on your personal profile, but only target it to those people, because personal posts get so much more engagement. They show up in the feeds of other people so much better than pages, especially pages. And so that's a little ninja tip that not a lot of people do.
Awesome. Okay, so now we're done. We made our post. We shared it on social. Boom, done. $20,000 MRR tomorrow.
Right, and so this is something you have to do consistently. Something that another cool thing you can do with the blog posts you write is it's a great way to answer questions that you find people have, whether they come to you directly and ask them, or they ask them in social media groups or whatever. You can say, hey, great question. Instead of writing a huge post, I wrote a blog post about it that basically answers the question. Check it out. Again, you have to be, cautious about not coming off spammy. You should have been helpful before that. But eventually you get to the point where people gain the trust, and they like you enough to where you can start saying, hey, I can answer your question in this blog post or whatever. And that's a great tool to use. Even existing customers, when they have an issue, they call you with an issue that, it's not enough of an issue to spend billable time helping them or whatever. You can just send them over to the blog post, help them out, and they'll love you even more for it because you're helping them out. But you personally aren't spending any time working on it for them, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
And so that's kind of your content marketing thing. Then there's other kind of more advanced things that you could get into, where if you want to get into YouTube, you can make a video out of that blog post, whether it's using a service like Lumen. Lumen 5 is a cool service that we actually use in Tech Blog Builder for our top tier customers who have the videos as well. You basically take a blog post, feed it into Lumen, and it uses some AI whiz bang magic to create one of those, kind of social media videos out of some content from your post, and it pulls in relevant stock video to play in the background and stuff like that. And then you need to tweak it some. It's never perfect right out of the gate, but that's just an easy thing to do. Take your blog post, shove it into Lumen 5, get a cool video, post that video on social as well, put it on YouTube. You could post it back onto your blog post. So when someone visits your blog post, they can watch the video or read the post, because some people don't like to read, or some people don't have time to read a whole blog post. Podcasting, it depends on your niche. Some niches are better for podcasting than others, but some niches really love podcasting and really consume podcasting. That, who knows, lawyers might be big on listening to podcasts. So you can have a law tech podcast where you talk about technology issues that law firms face, and you can use the blog posts as content for those podcasts. So there's lots of ways that you can repurpose the blog post once you've written it in lots of different media formats.
Awesome. So I actually, we were talking before we went live about AppSumo, and shameless plug, I totally have a referral link to AppSumo. If you've never purchased anything from there, I'll put it in the description, and you can check out AppSumo. So AppSumo is cool because you can get all kinds of, sometimes it's like new and upcoming tech that nobody's ever heard of. Other times it's like stuff that is common. For whatever reason, AppSumo convinced them to do some sweet deal that nobody's ever seen before. Like right now, they have Droplr, DROPLR, which I use, and it's like a lifetime deal of Droplr for like $40-50. And right now I'm paying like, I don't know, $5-10 a month for Droplr. So it's like, duh, why wouldn't I just buy it from AppSumo? But it'll only be there for like a week. So Lumen 5, that one was up on AppSumo, and I bought it, and I bet you did too, and that's why you use it.
I probably did. A lot of times, and I'm kind of dumb this way, is I'll see a deal on AppSumo and like, that's kind of cool, but I don't know. And then I'll let it lapse, and then I'll get to a point where I need it. And so I'll go and I'll buy the service after the AppSumo deal was over, and I end up paying full price for it and kicking myself. So I'm not sure which one happened, but I ended up, when I was on Lumen 5, whether it was a lifetime deal or not, I ended up needing to go to their highest tier plan because I'm managing customers on it. So even if I had the lifetime deal, I'm not on it anymore. That's for sure.
I bet. And I want to also say, and this isn't me like trying to protect Matt here. This is me being honest with you. Okay, I have Lumen 5. I don't use Lumen 5 because it's a pain in the butt to try and make it work. I'll probably give it another go since I started blogging regularly. Like, and I say started, like last month, I started saying I'm going to try and blog every week or two for MSP webinars. So that I will try and use those on Lumen 5 and see what I can accomplish. But just because you have the tool doesn't mean you're automatically going to do something as awesome as the experts, if you will, right?
And that's why I'm not afraid to say what tools we use, right? We use tools that anybody can get and anybody can use. WordPress, Loomly, Lumen 5. We use Trello to manage everything. I mean, we use things everybody uses, but we focus nothing but on that. So we're really good, really efficient at doing it. And of course, MSP owners don't want to spend their time, hours creating a video on Lumen 5, right? They could
important things to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'll let you know what we use, and then you can go out and try it. And if you want to use it yourself, great. If not, let us know and we'll do it for you.
And I think that is an awesome, I mean, what better way for you to convince people they need to work with you when you can say, tell you what, here's what we use. Why don't you go use it? And then we'll see you in a few weeks when you realize that this is hard and you just want somebody, because you're not going to run, and I don't mean you, Matt, I mean MSPs. You are not going to run a successful MSP if you try to wear every hat, right? I outsource all of my bookkeeping. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a bookkeeper. I have somebody else take care of that. Even though I do web design, like I do awesome web design. But MSP webinars, I have Prono Marketing taking care of that, because that is a really complex website, and that's not going to make me money, being in the back end on WordPress, developing my own website. I've got more important things to do. So you need to figure out which things are things that you can easily handle and which things you should be outsourcing. Just like when you tell your customers, I really think you should outsource all of your IT services to my company, and here's why, right? You need to follow your own guidance.
Walk the walk.
Yes, you need to outsource some of your own things. And Matt will let you outsource things to him. I'll let you outsource things to me. I could probably give you the names of 20 different people right now. If you want to outsource various portions of your business, let me know. I'll get you in touch with somebody that'll help you do it. I can help you find somebody to outsource managing your ConnectWise Manage and automate if you're just too busy to try and figure out how to implement this stuff.
And I think that's a great lesson to take as a business owner as well. Like, a lot of MSPs try to be everything to everybody. And it's really hard not only to market that type of service, because there's lots of other MSPs out there that are trying to be everything to everybody. But if you could be, the Office 365 expert, or you can be the go-to security expert, or you can be, we're the go-to blog experts, but we're not trying to be a full-fledged marketing firm, right? If you need, Facebook ads, we can refer you to someone. If you need, complex marketing funnel, we can refer you to someone. We stay in our lane. We do it really well. So that way, if someone says, I'm trying to get these blog posts out, and I just, I'm struggling with it, and it's a lot of work. Do you know anyone who can help me? And then they say, oh yeah, there's this tech blog builder, right? It's easy to get referred when you are the person that is an expert in it. So like we're telling you to outsource your stuff, you can also be the person that gets their stuff outsourced. And the easiest way to do that is to be the expert in the one narrow thing that people need. And you can be the go-to person for that.
Awesome. So I'm going to say anyone that has any questions on marketing, we want them, guys. And also, I want to go back. You mentioned the Facebook friend groups. So Brian, I did see your comment here. Huge benefit that most people don't use on Facebook. It's a fantastic way for you to keep your posts about Trump, whichever side you're on, right?
Right.
I don't even care. Whatever you're posting about Trump, use a friend group so that way your clients aren't seeing you post that. You posting about your favorite satanic cult, use a Facebook friend group so your clients don't see that. You want to post your favorite song that uses the F word 347 times, use a Facebook friend group so your clients don't see that. And consider having, if you're the kind of person that has a really demented sense of humor, consider having a Facebook friend group specifically for your friends that enjoy that type of sense of humor. Save your friends and family from that other type of stuff too. Like, those Facebook friends groups are fantastic. And now you don't have to have multiple Facebook accounts, one for business Steve and one for personal Steve. And Carlos, the first word, F that, I just do not friend my clients.
That's also an option, right?
That is also an option. But when we go back to why do blog posts, if you're not going to try and promote those blog posts, because what good is it going to be posting your blog post? Like, I know Carlos, we've met personally, and that is the only reason he and I are Facebook friends.
Right.
Because he has met me personally. He would, like Matt, if he's never met you, he would not even be your friend. Even though you guys might get along really well, he only becomes friends with people that he knows personally, has met them, and probably only wants to be friends with them on Facebook as well.
Right.
And
that's of course your prerogative, but I think you can, people think when they add someone as a friend on Facebook that means that they're going to have access to all their personal stuff. And with those friends, and it's lists, it's not groups, because people might get it confused with Facebook groups, which are a totally different thing. But it's actually, I was just looking at, Facebook calls it a friends list. So you can create the friends list, and then it's basically like, almost like emailing, right? You email a group of people that you want to receive that email. You put a post on Facebook that you want only a specific group of your friends on Facebook to see. And like I said, when you post a blog post, it shows up right in their feed if they're your friend, and they get a notification saying, "Hey, your friend Matt just posted something," and you get way more engagement, way more views on your blog post. So if that's something you care about, then I would consider adding customers and even, prospects. It's prospects, prospects. I mean, like if you go to a networking event or if you meet someone in person, I wouldn't just go randomly trying to friend request people. You need to have some kind of interaction with them, whether it's in a Facebook group or in person first. But then, don't be scared to add them as a friend, and just add them to a list that doesn't get anything except when you release a blog post or something, you send it to that list. Awesome. Something to think about. Yep.
So good. All right. So let's talk about something I'm going to call just a little bit more advanced than blog posting. And we only have like 10 minutes left, so we probably won't get into it too deep, but let's talk about pay-per-click advertising.
Okay.
Have you done much of it?
I have not. So I'm probably not going to be much of a good.
It's okay. I've dabbled, and I imagine you dabbled.
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to have just a nice conversation between two guys who have dabbled, and that's pretty much it, right?
Sounds
so good. Do you think pay-per-click advertising can be helpful for IT companies?
It can. It's what I see, and I've seen it be successful. I've seen MSPs who use it well and who get business from it. But it's one of those things that you really need to have a good plan and a good strategy. It's not just, you boost a post or throw a Facebook ad and hope to get people falling, through your doors. It's almost like content marketing now. It used to be like that, but now you have to have a strategy. I'm a big fan of creating, like if we're talking about Facebook, creating a Facebook ad that's pushing a blog post you wrote, targeting your target audience on Facebook, then people click on it, visit your website, and then retargeting to the people who visited your website with the services you provide. So not hitting people over the head with your services out of the gate, getting them to see your helpful content first, and then hitting them again later on down the road with retargeted ads about your services.
I would like to very much agree with that. It's, it's the same thing. You can't just go in and be like, hey guys, buy my stuff. Like, that's not, that doesn't work with any, like, if you walk into a business and you just drop in, does that work? No. So you have, and Robert makes a really good point. You should be careful with your pay-per-click advertising, because, potential employees looking for jobs could click on your ad. Competitors could click just because they want to be spiteful. And like, a Google click these days for MSP services is, depending on what market you're in, it could be $50. So, I mean, yeah, I would probably click on your ad too.
Right.
But, in all seriousness, if you can think of ways to run better ads. So let's think of it like this. Facebook has ads. We know, we all get them. We all hate them, right? Facebook has this thing called a pixel. You can install a Facebook pixel onto your website. And now Facebook is like looking at, okay, Steve Taylor, me, right? Steve Taylor's logged in and he went to techsitebuilder.com, and I know this because the Facebook pixel's there. Now, Matt doesn't know Steve Taylor was on the website. Matt just knows that 13 guys went to the website, and based on my behavior on the website, maybe I clicked on the lead magnet and I filled out the form and I hit submit. Well, that can get filtered with Facebook Pixel. So that way you can say, I only want to display this ad on Facebook to people that, added something to the cart and then abandoned the cart. Like, you can get really creative with these Facebook Pixels. You can say, I only want to show the ad to people that looked at or maybe even signed up for something but are not a customer. So I used to run ads, and I probably will start again, sorry in advance, to people that signed up for webinars and then are not members. So I try to be creative, but it's not, hey, you should join. The ad should be, hey, check out this helpful blog post, to try and remind them that I exist and that I have other helpful things. And eventually, like, maybe you can run another ad that says, this guy's gone to my website more than 3 times in the last month and he still isn't a customer. Right now, let's hit him with a sign up, give me your money.
Yep. It's like back in the day when before all of this, you would drive through the main street of your town and you would pass that computer repair shop every time. Your computer was fine, you didn't need it to be repaired, but you'd see it every time you drove down the road. And that's kind of like how the initial Facebook ad is. It's you see it, you might not care, you might not need it, you just scroll past it, but it starts to drill itself in your brain. And then eventually, when
billboard
does break down,
it is a digital billboard.
Yep. Then you're like, oh, I remember that. And then you see the ad pop up. You're like, oh, perfect. Click. And another thing you said, earlier was, we see Facebook ads and we're tired of them. And that's a trap that I think a lot of us techies kind of fall into, where we hate ads. We know how it works. We know the game. We're wise to it. So
but our prospects don't.
Exactly. And it depends on the niche, right? There are certain niches of customers that might be savvy to that or don't click on ads, but some do. And so you can't assume that ads aren't going to work for your target market until you try it. And you got to give it, some time to build up. I know people, run a Facebook ad for a week, they don't get any clicks, and then they're like, Facebook ads don't work. You have to give it some time. Yeah. Well,
thank you so much, Matt. Matt, again, for those of you that maybe missed the first, 20 minutes while I practically peddled his wares, asking him very targeted questions. Matt runs Tech Site Builder and Tech Blog Builder. Both are fantastic ways, and I believe you called them pool marketing. I like that. Both are fantastic ways for you to start performing pool marketing for your MSP or break fix shop, whatever you're running, right? So go check those out. His pricing, in my opinion, it's reasonable. Okay, $19 a month for Tech Site Builder, and let's be honest, you're probably running that on some pretty awesome. I won't call it hardware because it's not like it's in your basement. Right. What are you using to host this?
We're actually using WP Engine, which is managed.
Okay, and that's a fantastic. It's really expensive. Okay, you can go sign up for WP Engine yourself, and
you'll be paying more than $19 a month.
Yeah, for one website, it's like $35 a month. Yeah. So because you're scaling, like how many sites are you hosting? Ballpark.
We're just shy of 200.
Okay, so that is a boatload of money. WP Engine is crazy fast. Their support is fantastic for Matt, which means you probably won't experience any weird issues. For $19, you're getting a fantastic, even if you just are using it as like the baseline, right? But then he's also providing you with basically a customized WordPress. Now, let's say I sign up for Tech Site Builder. I get scared that I'm going to say the wrong one or just tongue twist, right? Tech Site Builder. And, a year goes by. I'm just not happy. I'm just going to host my website on, HostGator for $5 and call it a day. Can I get like an export of my website?
Yeah, we can export your content because it's on WordPress. WordPress makes it very easy to export the content. Of course, the design and everything that's kind of proprietary to our platform and the plugins we use and stuff, you can't get those, but we'll give you, all your blog posts, all your pages, all your images, and anything you uploaded.
I like it. And I think that that is how a lot of the, Pronto, they do it the exact same way. You can get your content, but you can't get the design. And then there's other companies. I don't want to name names because I feel like I'm about to say something negative, and I don't want to say something negative about a particular company because they're good people. Other companies out there are giving you I'm going to call it cookie cutter stuff. So all the websites, it's like, here's pick the design you want. Here's 5 options. That's your choice. And then you say, I want a page for managed services. So they literally give you the page for managed services with all the content, and they just change like the location keywords and your company name and make sure it's in your colors. And that's it. Like that is it. Everything else, you're using the exact same content as somebody else.
And that's what we want to avoid when we create new pages. So again, Tech Site Builder, the baseline is it's do it yourself. You do the stuff yourself. But if you want us to create a page for you or to, do something for you, we can. And we have the same content writer we use for Tech Blog Builder writes any new pages for your website. So it's totally customized to your business as well. Because I'm not a huge fan of the templated content because it's horrible for SEO. And it's kind of, I don't know, not a big fan of it. Yeah.
So good. So it's 2:00. We're going to wrap up. Matt, do you have a couple minutes to stick around?
Sure.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you so much to those of you that watch this, whether you're live or watching this recorded sometime in the future. I hope the future is treating you well, by the way. And I will see you at the next webinar. Take care, everybody.